Hey gang, have you ever been really brave? Have you ever taken a risk because you knew it was the right thing to do? Well, we're scuba diving today to learn about an incredible person who did just that on Discovery Jones Expeditions, coming up next.
Discovery, can you answer a question for me?
I'll certainly try, Rusty. What's your question?
What's an evangelist?
Well, an evangelist is someone who preaches the good news of salvation through Jesus Christ.
Okay, well, see, I've got to write a story for my English class at Squirrel Academy about an evangelist, and I was embarrassed to admit that I didn't know what that meant.
Rusty, don't ever be embarrassed to admit that you don't know something. That's exactly how you learn.
Okay, well, thanks for not making me feel stupid. I've heard the word before, but I just wasn't sure what it was. Oh, and one more thing. I couldn't look it up in the dictionary because I wasn't sure how to spell it. Can you help me with that?
Sure. Why don't you call up .com and we'll get her help.
Oh, okay. .com. Can you help us? I'd like to have the correct spelling for the word evangelist.
Hello, Rusty. Hello, Discovery. I'd be happy to help you with that. The correct spelling of the word evangelist is evangelist. It is derived from a Greek word that means to deliver good news.
Aw, cool. Thank you. I get it. It's good news that we can be saved through Jesus Christ. Neato.
Yes, Rusty, it's very good news. Is there anything else I can help you with?
No, but thanks, .com. Hey, Discovery, can you think of an evangelist that I can write about for my report?
Well, sure. What about Paul from the Bible? When he discovered that Jesus had been preaching the truth, he gave up everything to spread the good news.
Oh, perfect. That's a great idea. Paul the Apostle, right?
Yep, that's right. He is an inspiration to me even though he lived a long time ago. You know, because he was sold out to the mission of spreading God's message of hope to the whole world.
Well, that's it then. I'll write about Paul.
Well, great. Well, I'm leaving in a few minutes to go kelp diving. Is there anything else that I can help you with?
Nope. You've been a super fantastical, extremely radicalicious help already.
Well, good then. I'll see you tonight.
Okay, bye, Discovery.
Okay,
have
bye.
fun.
Thanks, Rusty. Hey, Adventure Pals, I'm here in the city of Avalon on Catalina Island, just off the California shoreline. And I want you to meet somebody. This is Dave Lieberman. How are you, sir?
Good, Discovery. How are you?
I am doing awesome, and I'm excited because we're going to do some scuba diving today, but with a different element thrown in. We're going to go kelp diving, which I've heard is really cool, right, Dave?
That's right.
Well, tell me your background. How long have you been scuba diving and teaching?
I started lake diving in Michigan in 1977. I became an instructor in '81. I moved out here 13 years ago and started diving the kelp forest right here in Avalon.
And you know these waters really well, right?
I do.
Well, Dave's company, Catalina Snorkel and Scuba Adventures, which is located here on the island in Avalon, is really an awesome company. They provide some neat stuff. Tell me a little bit about what you do unique to the island here.
We do marine eco snorkeling tours in Lover's Cove. We also allow kids, just like you see behind us, to do kelp diving right here in Avalon.
Yeah, and speaking of young people and kids, we do have 3 people that have joined us to do some scuba diving today. Tell me a little bit about how long they've been diving.
Okay, Lena and Wesley right here, they started diving with us a year ago, and then Bronte, she started just 2 months ago.
Well, I know that we are all excited. It's nice to see you folks with us. We're going to get out in the water and have some fun because that's where we're going along today. It's in the sea, not off here on the shoreline, right?
That's right.
Let's get suited up and get in there.
Let's
Come on,
do it.
gang. Well, Dave, we're just about ready. The gear is set up. The folks here are ready to get in that water. I know I am. But we want to talk about safety because that's an important thing. And we're in a very beautiful and unique location here at the water park, right? Tell me about what's different about this location here.
Well, we have a step entry and we're at the Avalon Underwater Park. It's a great park. Anyone that dives can come here and do so. It's a great place to go diving.
It is beautiful. Now, moving on to safety, the gear that's set up here, give me some few pointers here of what you do.
Well, right now what we're doing is a pre-dive check. We want to make sure everything's put together properly. We want to make sure that everything's working correctly. We want to make sure our air is on and that everyone enters the water with a full tank.
Awesome. One more thing. Now, we're all wearing these cool wetsuits. Tell me the difference, because I noticed there's a thickness difference in some of the suits.
That's right. Right now the water's about 72 degrees and it's summertime, so we want to wear something to keep the chill off. But in the wintertime, the water drops down to about 57. We want a little bit thicker suit and a hood.
Excellent. Very good. Well, let's all get fully suited up and geared up and get in the water and have some fun.
All right.
Let's do it. Wow, this is amazing. I've never seen anything like this before. You know, scuba diving is a great way to see some of God's handiwork that is invisible to us if we just stay in the boat. Have you ever thought about the similarities between diving into the ocean and diving into God's will for your life? Sometimes we can't see where He wants to take us or what lies beneath the surface. But when we dive in by faith, we can be sure that God is with us.
Let's fill our tanks and do it again.
Okay.
Well, this is Bronte, and we're in Lover's Cove out here at Catalina Island. Bronte, how's it going?
Really good.
Well, tell me about scuba diving. You must enjoy it.
I actually love it.
When did you get started scuba diving?
I started a couple months ago.
So it's brand new to you.
Yes.
How did you get the idea? How did you get started doing it?
Actually, my aunt and her best friend always came scuba diving here, and they always told me the stories and showed me pictures. So I was so interested. I said, "Oh my gosh, I want to do this," and so that's why I'm here today.
And what do you think? Is it just as exciting as you wanted it to be?
Actually, it's more than exciting.
And what makes it so exciting? Is it what you see underwater in that experience?
It's a whole different world. I can't even explain how fun it is to be out here.
Now, what about when your friends come up and ask you, they've never done it before, and they say, Bronte, that's so cool what you're doing. I mean, would you recommend, can I go do it too?
I'd recommend it very much, and I'd tell them everything.
Get out there and explore. What about different areas of the world you want to see?
I actually would like to go to Hawaii and Cancun, Mexico.
There's so much beautiful ocean all over the world to explore. It's almost limitless, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Well, I know you're looking forward to it. It's obvious, and so am I. I want to learn about it too. So what do you say we get back in the water?
Okay,
We got to get in the water. Let's go.
let's go.
Dave, the kelp is amazing. I never expected it to be so massive underwater, the way it grows in the ocean floor like that.
It's incredible. And you know what, Discovery? In the right conditions, kelp can grow up to 2 feet a day.
Which is extraordinary. And you know what? It provides an amazing backdrop for the beautiful marine life. The fish here are extraordinary. With that kelp waving around down there, it's just beautiful to see. Now, speaking of what you can see down there, the visibility differs also.
That's right. Right now we've got a little bit of a plankton bloom, so we're going to only experience maybe 20 to 30 foot visibility. But coming up in the fall, we're going to have 60 to 80 foot visibility.
Well, I want to get back in the water, and I'm sure you do too, and see some more of those fish.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. When I go to the ocean, I often think of one of my favorite people in the Bible, and that's Paul the Apostle. Now, Paul was known for torturing people who believed in Jesus until one day, God got Paul's attention, made him realize that Jesus really was the Son of God. Once Paul realized that what he was doing to these innocent people was wrong, he spent the rest of his life sharing the good news of Jesus Christ with everyone that he met. We call him an evangelist because an evangelist is someone who's willing to share the good news regardless of the fact that it can be dangerous or risky. One day, Paul was traveling from town to town by boat, telling people about Jesus. Once, in a place called Caesarea, he met some Christians who warned him that if he continued on his journey and went to Jerusalem, he'd be arrested and thrown into jail. Paul's friends cried and begged him not to go there. But check this out. In Acts chapter 21 of the Bible, we learn that Paul said, "Why are you all crying? You're breaking my heart. I am not only ready to be thrown in jail in Jerusalem, I'm ready to die for the sake of our Lord Jesus." Wow! Paul realized that if people in Jerusalem didn't hear the good news of the gospel, they might die without ever knowing about Jesus. He would rather die than see anyone miss the chance to have a relationship with Christ. Now that's a true evangelist. Are you telling others about Jesus? Are you willing to dive in and go deep in your faith? If not, what's holding you back? Are you too caught up in the things of this world to care about others as Paul did? He was willing to risk his life so that others could live. Now that's as incredible as this beautiful undersea adventure. You know, Dave, sitting up here overlooking the city of Avalon on Catalina Island, this is a beautiful location. There's so much to see and do here. But in the waters around the island, I know there's a lot to explore. Tell me what your company has to offer for folks.
Well, besides scuba, we also offer snorkeling marine eco tours right in Lover's Cove.
Now, explain to me what an eco tour is. What's involved in that?
Well, besides learning how to snorkel, we also, as instructors, will free dive down to the seafloor, gather marine animals, and bring them right up to the surface.
Now, that's really cool. So you can bring up things like lobster and starfish, that kind of thing, and show the kids right there what that's all about.
Exactly.
That is awesome. I'd love to try one of these eco tours.
Well, Discovery, you need to meet our expert, John Council.
John Council. Well, let's go meet him now.
Sounds good.
All right. Well, I'm here with John Council. He's a marine biologist, and this guy is amazing. He works with Catalina Snorkel and Scuba Adventures with Dave Lieberman, right?
That's
It
correct.
is so nice to meet you, sir.
Nice to meet you, Discovery. It's going to be a great day.
It is going to be a great day. Now, you've got a lot of experience in the water, scuba diving and snorkeling. Is that correct?
Yes, it's true.
When did you first start?
I did my first dive in 1974 up in Alaska, believe it or not.
A cold place to start,
Yeah,
I would think.
a little bit chilly, yes.
Were you always fascinated with the sea and with marine life?
Oh, I was, even from a very, very early age. I remember paging through all the Time Life Discovery books, and I used to get into the sea book the most and page through all of it and look at all these animals, and I just thought, I need to see this.
Now, so many years later, after you've had so much time in the water, is it everything you thought it would be?
Oh, that and more. I tell you what, the ocean is a fantastic environment, and every time you're out there, you can see or learn about something new. I hope that I can do it for as many years as I'm lucky enough to be here.
Now, all the knowledge that you bring to the table as a marine biologist that you can share with these young children, what is that like for you? I mean, to see the look on their faces and the way that they learn from you, and you're responsible for that. What's that like?
I think it's the most rewarding aspect of what I do. I think if I can take something that I've learned over the years and I can share that with somebody young and excite them about the ocean, it's the most beneficial part of my job, and it's the most rewarding for sure.
That is very cool. Now, what's some of the most common comments and questions that kids have about the ocean when they first get started?
Well, probably the first thing that comes to mind is that just about anybody, not just children, but anybody that gets in the ocean for the first time, they're absolutely amazed at how many living things are just right there, just underneath the surface of the water. People stick their face in the water and they can't believe the amount of marine organisms that are living there. Fish, snails, crabs, clams, all kinds of things underwater right there to be seen, and they can't believe there's so much stuff right there.
Yeah, so much of the world is covered by water, more so than anything else, and it's unexplored yet, undiscovered, so much under there. What's it like to know that the world's at your fingertips? You can go anywhere you want, do anything you want.
Oh, it's a wonderful thing to dream about. And when you think about the opportunities out here in the ocean, it's a vast area, very much of it's unexplored. It's right there for the picking for a lot of young people coming up that want to get involved with this type of research, oceanographic work or marine biology. There's so much to learn. We know more about the surface of the moon than we do the bottom of the ocean, and so there's a lot there to be found out.
Well, John, if you don't mind, I would love it if you would take me and a few folks, some young people, out of the water, snorkel a little bit, and teach us about some of that marine life.
I would absolutely love it, Discovery. Let's get out there and have some fun.
Let's get started.
All right,
Yeah.
let's go.
Well, I'm here with Wesley, and he's one of our scuba diving buddies for the day. Wesley, how's it going?
Great.
Well, this is pretty cool. Scuba diving is awesome. Now, how long you been doing it?
Been doing this 1 year.
1 year. What was it that got your interest in scuba diving before you actually started?
My dad did it, so I wanted to try.
Your dad wanted to do it. Did he tell you stories about what he would see underwater or anything like that?
Sometimes.
Yeah. So since you've been diving for about a year now, you've learned all the safety procedures, you've learned how to do it. What is it about scuba diving that really is real cool for you now? What have you seen underwater?
Seen bat rays, sharks, all kinds of fish.
And a bat ray is kind of like, almost like a miniature stingray in a way, isn't it?
Yes.
That's a cool fish. There's so many neat things to see in the ocean. What about the future? Do you see yourself doing this for a long time?
Yeah. I'm gonna try to get certified and then go on after that.
Okay, now when you do go on, is there any place you want to go?
Los Arcos down Cabo San Lucas.
And why specifically that location?
It's just a big rock sticking out of the ocean. There's lots of fish down there.
Very cool. We wish you the best. I know you got a chance to go there someday and check it out. And we're having a lot of fun today, aren't we?
Yeah.
Well, let's keep it up. We're going to go see some more fish. Is that okay with you?
Yeah.
Let's do it. All right.
Yeah.
Well, folks, I'd like to welcome you to Lover's Cove on Catalina Island. This area right here is a very popular snorkeling area. It's a marine sanctuary, so all the marine life here is protected by state law. Luckily, we have state-issued permits for collections, so we can bring up animals for scientific study and also for educational purpose. So that's what we're going to do out here today. When we enter the water, we're going to head this direction out towards the rock point, which is Abalone Point. And when we work our way in that direction, we should find lots of marine animals here. There's no shortage of animals in this type of ecosystem. So once we're comfortable in the water, I'll begin a series of free dives. And I'll go down and see if I can't find some interesting animals for us, and I'll bring them back to the surface and we'll discuss them for you so you guys will have an opportunity to see these things firsthand and safe animals to handle. I'll go ahead and let you guys handle to learn about them. It's really a great way to learn and teach about marine organisms out here. You get to see them, touch them, see how they move, that type of thing. So it should be great for you guys. When we enter the water, we'll sidestep shuffle with our fins on and then go ahead and put our masks on, and then we'll go ahead and start our progress over in that direction. If you guys are ready to go, so am I. You ready?
Excellent.
Ready?
All right, well, go ahead and put your fins on. We'll head out into the water. Let's go ahead and put our fins on. Let's go. What do you got, John? Well, look how lucky we got today. We got a female California spiny lobster. Pretty neat animal. I know it's a female because of these large swimmerette fins right here. See how big they are and they kind of lay over each other like that?
Yeah.
Male lobsters have very small swimmerette fins. And the reason for the difference is the female will hold her clutch of eggs against the abdomen of her tail right there, and she'll hold them together with her swimmerette fins, and she uses those large fins to flush oxygenated water over the surface of the eggs to keep them healthy and free of any kind of bacterial or fungal growth, all right? So she protects them until they start to hatch out. So that way I know with the large fins, right away this is a female. Now, this is a pretty interesting animal. You'll notice it's got hard exoskeleton, it's got jointed, segmented legs, a pair of long antennae that reach way out in front and also all the way behind its body like so. So between the pair of them, they can tell what's going on around them. You've got a pair of compound eyes that are similar to a fly or a honeybee or something like that. And a head, a middle section, thorax, and tail section to the body, very similar to another animal we had up earlier. Do you remember what that was?
Crab.
That's right, the crab. This animal is also in that same phylum grouping, which is Arthropoda, and it's related to insects. So this is like an underwater beetle or something like that. Now let me tell you about these eyes. They're pretty good eyes and they can see well during the day, but they don't do it so well at night. So that's where these antennae really come into play. They're covered with little tiny fibrous hairs, and anything that touches the hairs, they can feel that. And they're pliable on the end. See how they bend? They can reach up inside a crack or a hole and they can feel if there's something in there. Either they can maybe feed on, which might be a small shrimp or something like that, or they can tell if it's okay to go into a cave. And if they do, they can back up into the cave and then they can reach their antennas out like so. And if anything touches their antennas, they'll just back into the hole. That way it's hard for them to get caught by their animals. Now, on the base of their antenna, they've got a pretty neat mechanism for alerting each other to danger and also making a sound so they can find each other in the water when they're trying to locate. They like to hang out in groups most of the time. So if they get in the water and they find something they don't like or they're trying to locate each other at the base of their antenna, they'll do this. Listen up.
Whoa.
Hear that?
That is so cool.
That's lobster talk for watch out, there might be something dangerous in the water. Okay, pretty neat stuff. Anyway, they're a great animal. This one again is a female, and she's almost to the size where if somebody was putting a lobster pot out there, they might like to keep her. Hopefully she'll be able to stick around for a while and make some more eggs and make a lot of lobsters out here for us. We like that in these waters.
What is so great about living in California and having an opportunity to come out here to Catalina and scuba dive?
It's nice, and you can just come here so close to home and go scuba diving.
Yeah, you live so close to it. I mean, that's really convenient for you to learn how to do this.
Yeah.
Now, all your friends at school, they obviously live just as close as you do. Was it something you'd recommend for them to try?
Yeah, because it's a whole different world down there. It's like a big forest.
Yeah, it is.
So it's really neat.
It's awesome. Well, thanks so much. What do you say we get back in the water?
Sure.
Let's do it. Let's go. scuba diving. How cool is this? This has been so much fun. You know, the really cool thing about God is that He loves to see His children enjoy life. Sometimes life can be tough, though sometimes we have to dive in and do things that aren't easy. But if we only dive in when God says dive in, we'll never be diving alone. And that's some really good news. Hey, that's what it's all about, right? The good news. In fact, the greatest news ever. Paul decided to take the plunge and dive right in, even though he knew it could be dangerous to him personally. God never left him. He was with him every step of the way. And that's also the good news for us. God is with us every step of the way when we decide to share our faith with other people. Dave, this has been an awesome experience. Thank you so much for letting us come out and do some scuba diving and some snorkeling. We've had a great time. I really appreciate that.
Thank you so much.
Now tell us one more time what some of the young people can expect to experience once they come out and join up with your company.
We have snorkeling, we have scuba diving, and of course hands-on with the marine animals.
Now what about the Scuba Rangers program?
Well, upon completion of the program, then they're going to be certified scuba rangers.
It's just the start of something big and a great big world to explore out there. We want to thank the City of Avalon, and tell us your website one more time.
It's www.catalinasnorkelscuba.com.
Check it out. It's a great website. Dave, thanks again. Had a great time.
Thank you.
Hope to see you again. Yeah.
Hey, Discovery, you're home!
Hey, Rusty.
Hey, that kelp diving and that spiny lobster, they were awesome!
Yeah, I like the lobster too. That was cool learning about the different parts of the lobster. It was a really awesome adventure. So how did your report go? Did you write about Paul?
Oh, I did. I learned so much about how brave Paul was and how he faced all sorts of dangers. But nothing kept him from telling people about Jesus. He went to prison and all sorts of scary stuff like that. But he kept on sharing his faith everywhere he went. That's what being an evangelist is all about, right?
Exactly. Being an evangelist is about diving into the work God has for us regardless of the cost.
Sometimes people make fun of me when I tell them about Jesus. I guess they just don't understand what it means to have faith, huh?
Rusty, being ridiculed for your faith means that you really are an evangelist. You've counted the cost of following Jesus, and despite the fact that you might be misunderstood or ridiculed, you've been willing to take a stand. That's awesome, Rusty. You've been willing to just dive in, just like Paul, to share the good news everywhere.
I love sharing the good news.
Yeah, me too, Rusty, me too. But I'm afraid right now I have some, well, kind of bad news.
What? Bad news? Oh, no.
Well, that's right. It's time for us to go.
Oh, already?
Yeah.
That is bad news.
I know, but time flies around here when we're having fun, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Hey, will you help me tell our adventure pals what we always say?
Oh, sure.
Okay.
I love you. Lots of people love you, but the one who made you loves you the most.
Now that's the greatest news. We'll see you next time. Dave runs Catalina Scuba and Snorkel Adventures, or Snorkel and Scuba Adventures. Is that correct?
That's correct.
All right. Well,
I don't speak that language.
Dave, we had a Dave, thanks so much. We had a great time. Dave, we have had an awesome time. Thanks so much for letting us come out and join you for some scuba diving and some snorkeling. It's been a great time, and Catalina is an amazing place to be. Yes, it has. And Discovery, thank you for coming out and spending time with us. We're speechless. We're so speechless, Discovery. Well, I'm here with John Council. He's a marine biologist, and he works with Dave at Catalina Scuba and Snorkel. Catalina, wow, John, you know, the City of Avalon here on Catalina Island is, or Dave for that matter, you got me doing it now. I called him Dave. I had to correct him. Now I'm doing it. Hey gang, the DJ Club Code of Conduct reminds us to tell others about Jesus. That's what evangelists do, and we can tell the good news too. We'll see you next time.